Alright, I am talking now. Can I be heard? Can I be heard on the stream? Testing my mic on the stream. Hopefully it works. Oh my gosh, I just got jump scared by my own voice on my phone. Oh my gosh. Yep, okay. Anyways, hey guys, Nitro the Nitro Dragon here, and welcome to a bit of a different stream from what I was doing previously, but I just thought, you know what? I've got some time to just chill, and I don't have anything planned, so why not just do a small chill stream where I'm ranking every single copy ability in Kirby's in the entirety of the Kirby series. It was going to be Star Allies originally, but I didn't name the stream properly, so we're going with all of them, because why not? And I am joined by Reb for this stream.
Hi guys.
Hopefully
I'm back to normal.
Yes, and hopefully she's audible in the stream. Let me just make sure.
Am I?
I'm making sure on the stream's end because I'm not 100% sure. Okay, yeah, you can be heard. I just heard. Yeah, on the stream we are good. We are good to go ahead and do this. So, this is a pre-made set of copy abilities. I plan to at least rank the ones that I have experience with. The ones I don't have experience with, I'll just go off of what I do know. So, we got all the abilities, all the way up to the abilities from Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Unless new abilities come out in the Kirby Forgotten Land Switch 2 expansion, which I'm just also going to say I'm salty about that being a thing, but ignoring that, we are going to be ranking all of these. And this is just what the list will be like. So, we're going to be starting with Suplex. This is an ability,
Let's see.
Oh crap! Right, I gotta remember to stream it on Discord as well. All right, there you go. You can see it, right?
Right on. I can.
All right, and also I apologize for the ads at the bottom. I unfortunately can't get rid of them, so y'all also have to just live with seeing those. Anyways, Suplex. Starting off with an interesting ability. This ability, I'm pretty sure, originated in Kirby Superstar. And more or less, well, actually, I might as well lump Backdrop and Throw in here as well. All three of these abilities work the exact same, except these two are pretty much letdowns, while this one is pretty okay. Now, Suplex is basically combining these two abilities and adding a few more moves to them, but Backdrop and Throw are pretty bad considering that they are just simple tossing abilities, and, well, I mean, they're not awful, but, like, imagine using those abilities on a boss fight, and they don't have any proper way of attacking the enemy. That's basically me talking about... That's basically these abilities in a nutshell. But this one does have a basic attack to it, so it still can stand on its own as a normal ability without, like, projectiles. And oh boy, we're already going to my least favorite copy ability in the entire series, which is a pretty ironic thing.
What?
Plasma Kirby. Now,
Plasma Kirby?
Yes, Plasma. Specifically Plasma, but not Spark. This is one of those abilities that has two different versions. basically coexisted with fire, but they were different abilities. But then they combined together. Same with ice and freeze, and in this case, plasma got combined into spark. So let me just put spark here, because spark is honestly one of the best copy abilities ever.
Yeah. What the?
Spark is the best, plasma is the worst. Here's why. So, spark. It started with a basic attack where it encompasses itself in this shield. And that was basically the extent of spark. And plasma, it was introduced in Kirby Superstar to replace spark, and instead of you actually just pressing a button to create a shield, you had to move back and forth to produce, like, I guess, kinetic energy. I hope that's the right term. To get a shield around you.
Don't mind me. I'm studying some FNAF gameplay. If I were to play it myself one day.
Oh, okay. But yeah, this ability going back and forth, moving back and forth. It's kind of annoying.
God damn it!
What?
Sorry.
What?
Oh, hey Willie.
Oh, hey Willie.
Oh, guys.
Hello. We are live.
Let's see. So we got Spark up in best. Okay. We got Suplex in okay. Backdrop and Throw in letdown, and Plasma in bad. Wow.
Yeah, I actually have a very bad vendetta against Plasma. And the crazy thing is, for all the abilities that are specifically in Star Allies, I had to play through the entirety of Guest Star with them. I have done every single Guest Star copy ability. So I have full experience using all of these. Suplex was good, but Plasma was awful because, unlike Spark, it doesn't have a reliable attack unless you charge up the shield.
Charge it? Yeah.
It's just a tiny little laser. And what's worse, it doesn't even get the other things that make Spark good, like its upstrike, or like its upwards and downwards lightning attacks. And if it had those, it would probably be in letdown. But since it doesn't, it's basically just bad. And what's even more insulting, Plasma basically got absorbed into Spark because Spark took its whole thing about dashing back and forth. And all this just to bring back a classic ability from Superstar. Suplex, bringing back Suplex and Yo-Yo and Chef, those were fine. I didn't personally like them. Well, some of them I really like, but for Plasma, it did not deserve to come back. Unless they properly overhauled it instead of just making it more or less what it was. I don't think it's an awful ability though, because it still has its uses for like electric-based puzzles. But at the same time, you'd have a better ability like Beam as a backup instead. But like whatever. Anyways, you were gonna say something, Willie?
I was thinking of there being an alternate way for you to charge up a spark barrier.
There is. You shake the controller, but I personally don't like that because, well, unless it's on the Wii, which that's why Spark is also pretty good in Return to Dreamland. I don't shake my controller. Like, I play in handheld mode on my Switch. So I never took advantage of shaking the controller to get the energy field or whatever.
Yeah. But nah. What I was going to say is just holding the button down. Why not just do that?
That's not an option.
Why not? What does holding B do again?
What? Sorry, I brain farted.
What does holding B do again with Spark?
You're thinking of Spark, not Plasma. I'm talking about Plasma. Spark
Oh, right.
For Spark, it's better. That's why Spark is in best, because does what Plasma does, but way better.
Got it.
Reliable attack, other variants of attack, and a better use of the charging of the shield. Sure, you'd still have to move back and forth, but that's not the entirety of the gimmick. It still has other ways to deal damage.
See. Yeah, it does. It does.
Anyways, now we're moving on to an objectively bad copy ability. Oh, what the flip? Why is this? These ads are annoying as crap. We're moving on to now we're moving on to an objectively bad ability. It's objective for Plasma. It's objectively bad for Copy. Why?
I'm sorry that I'm personal. I actually gotta go. It's time for me to do my No Man Less Than Mosquito crew stream.
Okay. Well, for anyone who wants to see that, you can go to her channel. It's on my channel, like my friends' channels. Yeah, you can just go to that channel. Please subscribe to her, by the way. Anyways, see you, Reb.
Goodbye. Yeah. Bye, Nitro. Bye, Willie.
Bye.
Later. All right.
Holy crap! That is basically all that it's good for, aside from the light speed dash. Sheesh! You'd think that they would. You think that they would apply those extra things from Plasma over the Spark, but no.
You mean the other way around?
No. I mean, giving the light speed dash and the giving the light speed dash and the Plasma attacks over to Spark. I meant.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, those attacks I barely use because again, you gotta move back and forth to even enable those.
Yeah, you're right. Lightspeed Dash doesn't even work unless you have a Plasma Barrier on hand, which I think is not really what I would want to do, but what do I know? I'm not Hal. Anyway, yeah, Copy is just... Why the hell would you want that ability? It just copies the nearest enemy to usually get the ability that way.
And
how the hell is this an option? Like, you could have just literally skipped TAC and just sucked up the other enemy to get their ability. But no! You decided to waste your time inhaling TAC just so you could get a copy ability from another opponent and you could have easily sucked up. What the hell?
There's only one quote-unquote practical use for Copy, and that is during Milky Way Wishes, where you can only get copy abilities from copy ability essences, which, fair enough. But if you were to make this ability in modern games, what the heck would be the main appeal of this? Like,
nothing!
Yeah, exactly. In fact, I honestly would confuse Copy with Laser, because they use more or less they use kind of the same visors. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and just bunch all the one-use abilities together. So I'm bunching Paint. Where's Crash?
Paint, Crash, Festival.
I can't. There's a lot of Kirby, so I'm just struggling to. Oops. I don't know what I just did there. Anyways, Festival. These two are going in mid, and technically Magic was one, but it's not any. It wasn't. Oh yeah. Anyways, Crash will then go above these two, and then right above all of them is Mike. And here's basically my reasoning. Well, actually, I'll put Paint right behind Festival. Paint. It's a very niche ability. It only appeared, like, for two things in Superstar Ultra. I'm pretty sure it was Heavy Lobster and Mark Soul, where you can get the Paint ability. For being just a secret ability during two bosses, I don't think it's worth it. Festival. Basically the same as... Well, actually, you go ahead, Willie, before I continue.
Wait, what about that one chameleon boss? Doesn't it give you the paint
All
ability
right,
as well?
Chameleon Arm. I honestly forgot about Chameleon Arm. Superstars bosses are kind of a blur to me sometimes.
It
But yeah,
helps when you've been watching all of those Kirby Ability Boss Rush videos all the way back in the day, maybe like Roll Mythril and Pink Kitty Rose. You tend to remember those kinds of things.
yeah, but some of them are just like one note. Like I remember Fatty Whale and I remember Wham Bam Rock, but I don't remember Chameleon Arm at the top of my head, unless I'm
Yeah, I
actively thinking
wouldn't
about the
expect you
bosses.
to.
Anyways, yeah, Paint not the best. Festival somehow returned in Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Out of all the abilities that came after Return to Dreamland, they couldn't have brought in other new abilities, but whatever, I guess.
Uh,
But this is basically the same as Paint, and that's about it. Like, it sure the enemy that gives you the ability, it shows up. It's an enemy instead of being like a secret thing for a boss. Although you can actually get Festival from Yiggy Woods, one of Yiggy Woods' cherries, which like a golden cherry that Yiggy Woods can drop in Star Allies. It'll give you the Festival ability if you inhale it and eat it. But other than that, it's just not worth it. Now, Crash. This one and also Mike are good because you can charge up the attack for a stronger blast. Because why not? A bigger blast means bigger damage. Although you have to hold it for a while to enable it. And Mike...
Well, hey, at least it is a manageable form of charging up your power.
Yeah, instead of dashing back and forth, you just hold down a button and then boom. And the same with Mike, but it also has two weaker attacks. So more or less, you could technically try and take out a boss with Mike if you honestly feel crazy enough to do that. Which, like, fair enough. If you want to go that crazy, go crazy. And to end this all off with the instant use abilities, Chef Kirby is actually going above them all.
Wait, I thought it was called Cook Kirby.
Chef, Cook, same thing. I basically this is less Cook Kirby, more Kawasaki, because Kawasaki is the main reason why this is at the top of the mid tier of all the instant use abilities. Because they had to do something, because they didn't want to just waste the possibility of having Kawasaki playable in Star Allies. And what do you do with an instant use ability for a mini boss? Simple. You just add the attacks the mini boss uses. Like, Kawasaki can still use his ladle and also toss the dishes. Like, that's kind of the reason why it's in mid. And I mean, in the ultimate choice, Cook is available, but it's just Kawasaki. You can't choose Kirby because Kirby can't toss dishes or use a ladle. It's literally just the instant use. And I mean, the healing's a nice bonus at that. And now we're moving on to all the practical use abilities. So we're gonna be starting from. Actually, I'm just gonna go with the dumb ability, because I actually like metal. It's just one of those abilities that you just see and think, this is awful. I love it. And this is coming from someone who actually hasn't played that many of the older Kirby games. Like, I've only played some of Superstar Ultra, almost the entirety of The Amazing Mirror on my old Chromebook, surprisingly, when I was in school. And I've played almost all of the Kirby Switch games. I have not played and also Kirby Triple Deluxe. I have not played Return to Dreamland Deluxe, so I don't have any experience with Mecha or Sand. I haven't played Planet Robobot, so I I'm not experienced with those abilities, and that's basically it. So I'm just going from an outsider's perspective. Metal definitely seems like an ability that's not good. Because it's slow, it doesn't do anything. It's just basically a slow ability that just slows you down but makes you invincible. Sure, that's cool and all. But is it worth being a full-blown ability?
Hell no.
But it's funny. It's an ability that you hate, but you love at the same time.
The only thing of note about metal that I actually like, other than it being nigh impervious, is that when you go down slopes, he tucks in all his limbs and just rolls straight down. Like, that is so dumb.
But it's charming.
So funny.
It's so dumb, yet it's so charming. And actually, this was actually Squeak Squad's version of Stone. They couldn't bother adding Stone, so they made Metal. Why? Stone is actually way better. In which case, I'll just go ahead and get Stone. Where is it? There it is. Stone is better, but I still would say it's probably mid, because it doesn't really do a lot. Because with Stone, the main appeal behind it is, oh, you can turn into stone sculptures, and most of them have references in them.
That's cool, I guess, but
actually using it for bosses, yeah, it's not really working. And the whole thing about being able to crush stakes, Hammer can do that just as well. But
speaking of Hammer,
I'm not actually gonna go to Hammer next, because, like, that'll be saved for, like, the very end, I bet. Anyways, Jet Kirby. This is an ability I wish I tried out in a Planet Robobot, because this ability, coming back to Planet Robobot, seems like one of the coolest things ever. And I would say it's honestly one of the okay abilities, I think. Just from what I've seen, it's... the main thing is that it's like, oh, you can fly and also dash very fast. Like, it's basically aerial wheel, which also I'll just put wheel in mid because well, actually, I'll put it with okay, because these two abilities, when you get them, they're not bad abilities. Like, most of the time you're using them for movement rather than actively using it against a boss. Like, we gotta consider all the factors in a Kirby game, and it excels at one of them, but not really that way at the other. You can try and battle the bosses as these abilities, but actively trying to is not the best. Which, it's not awful, but yeah. Anyways, Bubble Kirby. Another letdown, because this was one of Squeak Squad's gimmick abilities. Because the whole gimmick behind Squeak Squad, you could store items in Kirby's belly, which were stored in bubbles. But you could simply get them just from inhaling something, I'm pretty sure. Which, like, I really just don't see the appeal of Bubble Kirby that well. And it makes sense why water exists. It's the better, water-themed copy ability.
Yeah. I thought it would be one of those other, this is so dumb, yet it's so charming, but nah. The only thing charming about it is its design, and even then, it's not all that memorable.
If they somehow brought Bubble back in a new Kirby entry, I'm very curious as to how they changed it. Because, like, they've shown that they can revamp abilities, but this one, I don't see how they'll be able to revamp. Anyway.
You sure? Because I am starting to get an idea for how Bubble Kirby could function. Like, instead of a brush or something, it would wield an abnormally large bubble wand or something like that. And
Okay.
basically, he would turn into SpongeBob with the amount of things that he would do with all the bubbles.
Honestly, you might be onto something. Although they might not. I mean, imagine them accidentally going into a copyright with Nickelodeon. That would honestly be kind of funny. Not gonna lie.
It would be, but don't you worry. They will not be pulling anything specifically from SpongeBob. He's just a character of reference when thinking of Bubbles' abilities for me.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, Magic Kirby. I actually have never used Magic Kirby, despite it appearing in Amazing Mirror, because like in that game, it was basically one of the instant uses. But I'm pretty sure in Squeak Squad, it got a change. I actually don't know for certain. Like, did it get more attacks, Willie? Willie?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So, I don't really know my experience, how I'd experience it in Squeak Squad if I actually bothered to play Squeak Squad. So, until I figure out how that would feel to play, I'm keeping it in mid with the other instant uses. It'll go
Yeah.
behind stone though, because
Looking at the move list, it doesn't have a lot. It only has like 4 attacks now.
yeah, I mean, I'm guessing one of those attacks is the instant use from Amazing Mirror.
Yeah, it's the magic roulette. It still has that.
Yeah, this ability is just it's charming like all these are, but eh. And then we get Archer's inferior predecessor.
Yup.
In fact, I'm just gonna put this right at the bottom because Cupid Kirby is interesting. He can levitate, which was actually used for a treasure chest in Amazing Mirror, I'm pretty sure. But other than that, the attack is pitiful. Instead of it being a quick shot forwards with the arrow, it's just a slow arc downwards, which doesn't sound that useful. And it really wasn't. I never bothered using Cupid, actually. It's like one of those things that you just forget exists. And actually, I'll just go ahead and get some other Amazing Mirror abilities out of the way. Mini Kirby, it has to stay in bad. Because, like, it was used for, like, some puzzles. But other than that, it's just one of those gimmick abilities that you just get for one thing, and then you just forget about it. In fact, people might forget about it existing entirely, because when you enter the next room while having the mini ability, you just lose the ability entirely.
Yeah, I've seen that happen.
Which, like, fair enough, why would you want to keep this ability, but at the same time... yeah. And then there's Missile Kirby, which I think is pretty good. It's basically, high jump, but replace, actually having precise jumping with an explosion. That's honestly kind of cool, not gonna lie.
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm already mentioning it, and it doesn't really appear anywhere else, high jump, it's gonna go the same place. High jump's the more, like, missile's the cooler version, because, like, it does explosions, but high jump's way easier to use. I bet if they re-implemented missile, it'd probably be, like, high jump in Return to Dreamland, but better. But since we don't have that, high jump is gonna stay just a bit above it. In fact, I think these are better than suplex. Then Laser Kirby. This ability's whole gimmick? Ricocheting off of walls. Because, sure, it's cool, but it's one of those things that has very niche uses in actual playing through a game. If you were just to focus on just how it would work in other levels, it's not a ability that you would find yourself using a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, like, it's still a funny ability, like, not funny, cool ability, and is way better than the other ability with a main visor, so I'm just gonna put it in okay.
Oh, wait, Andrew, you missed a one-time ability.
I missed one? Oh. We don't need to talk about this ability. We do not need to talk about Light Kirby. What is there to even say about it?
Nothing.
Yeah, it's just like... It's basically Flash from the Pokemon games. That's it. That's all you need to know. And while we're at it, Sleep will actually just be at the top of bad. Actually, it'll go behind Plasma because, again, Plasma has its uses. Sleep doesn't really, but Sleep does have that... It can heal Kirby, but only in 2 games. Forgotten Land and Squeak Squad. And for the latter, you need its ability scroll.
Not to mention that it also has its very own moveset, strangely enough, over in Kirby's Battle Royale. Then again, it's only in 1 game, so...
Yeah, and it was more or less a joke ability, like, for that game, and I'm not really counting spin-offs. Although, I kind of might need to be able to talk about Doctor, because, again, haven't played Planet Robobot, but I have played Kirby Team Clash, unfortunately. So
that's why Wrestler isn't here.
Yeah, Wrestler is not here because it's part of a spin-off, which, thank goodness, I honestly was kind of worried that I'd have to talk about Wrestler in a game that I don't even own. Anyways, and also Jelly Kirby isn't here, so yeah, it's only the mainline games. Anyways, Animal Kirby. It's a pretty cool one. I'd say it's actually going in great. I've not touched it, but it definitely seems like a really good ability. Being able to burrow into the ground, but also being able to strike enemies with Kirby's claws, that is cool. Although, I will say, this ability should have come back in Forgotten Land. I'm not upset with the fact we got Drill, but it probably would have stayed the same if it was specifically Drill. Anyways, Ghost Kirby. I'd say it's a letdown ability because if we're not including the spin-offs, it's a very niche use ability in Squeak Squad where you can just possess enemies and that's it. Like, it's not... It's another one of those things that isn't practical to use for especially bosses, because, like, what the heck are you going to do? Although, it could be useful for Dark Nebula, because that boss is absolute crap. But other than that... yeah, but if we were counting spin-offs, maybe it would get a bit of an edge, because the ghosts in Fighters... those are pretty cool. But I don't want to touch that game, so yeah, it's not the best. And Ball Kirby, one of the only copy abilities that technically has appeared more than once. But that just begs the question, do we count Canvas Curse and Rainbow Curse as spin-offs or mainline games?
I think they fit more into the spin-off section.
Yeah. If we were counting those though, ball would probably be up higher, especially if it had basically the dashing attack it has in Rainbow Curse. That would have probably put it up higher, but it's another one of the letdowns.
Also, Balloon Kirby isn't here.
Yeah, but there is one ability that appeared in the, well, actually I'm just gonna do freeze first. I was gonna do burning because it also appeared in Canvas Curse, but I'm doing freeze first. It's more or less the attack that Kirby can perform when he's dashing and then attacks when he has the ice ability. Well, that's what happens nowadays. It used to be freeze. But it on its own, it's pretty mid. But here's an interesting take I'm going to show you guys. I love burning. And this just comes from me loving to use the ability when I get the chance to in Amazing Mirror when I was younger and playing it. Because I just spammed the crap out of it. I didn't even care I bumped into walls. I could just continually attack, just like ramming into the walls a lot just to gain height. It was so silly, but that just gives me a soft spot for burning. If we're thinking about if we're actually saying, is it a good ability? Not really. The reason it got fused into fire was because this was Fire's dash attack, or is Fire's dash attack now, but I freaking love this ability just because of how silly it is. just from personal experience, by the way. It's probably, for some other people, not the best. I freaking love it. And here's an ability I really wish I could have tried out. UFO Kirby. I barely got the chance to use this in Amazing Mirror, but from what I've seen, it's also one of the best abilities. Very versatile for an ability that's very hard to get, which, that's something you kind of want. If it's a hard ability to obtain, you want it to have attacks that make it worthwhile to try and find. It's not even like a mini boss where you have to go to a certain level and get the ability, like say Hammer or Artist or Suplex. You actively have to go into a certain level in a certain room in Amazing Mirror to get this ability. Is it a great ability? Absolutely, and it's worth the find, but honestly, I do still wish that I could have played Planet Robobot because I have the Kirby amiibo. I could have gotten the ability with it, because that's one of the things you can get from the amiibo. But other than that, yeah, it's a pretty great ability. And another great ability, oh yes, Smash Kirby. A smash hit, am I right?
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm taking Ramen's bit. I'm sorry. But yeah.
Well, at least you did it better than she could ever do.
True. Anyways, Smash Kirby. An amazing copy ability to tie into a game that actually is directed by Masahiro Sakurai, but this ability is in a game that he'd never directed. It's in Planet Robobot, it's in the Dream Collection, and it's in Amazing Mirror. Sakurai did not touch any of those games. And actually, interesting thing about Amazing Mirror, this is a mini boss ability, and the mini boss is Stickin' Master Hand. And one of the main bosses in the game that you have to get one of the shards of the mirror is Master Hand and Crazy Hand. Like, they couldn't have made this I'm struggling to think of words to say about this awesome ability. In fact, it deserves to be at the top of the list at least. Because, like, this ability is awesome! All it needs now is to return in the next Kirby game, and I'm all for that. But I doubt it will. Considering, I don't think they're gonna bring back an ability they barely use. I think it's like for special occasions, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, now we're on to the Forgotten Land abilities, which... these abilities are pretty good. Although I'm not the biggest fan of Ranger Kirby. It's a...
Kirby with gun is finally real. And it could have been better, honestly.
Yeah, and actually, before we continue, I do actually have a plushie of Amazing Mirror, of Ranger Kirby. I think I got it for it was like a birthday gift. I got it for like my 18th birthday. And being a Kirby fan, of course I got plushies of him, but this one is just hilarious, just because, like, I got a plush of Kirby with a gun. But as for actually using it in Forgotten Land, and I'm actually ignoring the upgrades, because I actually played through the entirety of Forgotten Land without upgrades. So this is just coming from using this ability just normally. It just... I suck at the aiming. Sure, the reticle kind of locks onto enemies, but it's just very finicky to use a reticle for me. Like in Smash, it's very easy to use, but with Kirby's Ranger ability, it's very hard to aim. Because, like, it's very finicky, it's very... like, if you just move an inch, it just moves way farther than I want it to. It's just... it's very uncooperative, in my opinion. But then we get Drill, and I'm putting this up with Animal, because not... and actually, I always wanted a proper Drill Kirby. I never knew the Drill combo in 64 existed, which also, by the way, we don't have the 64 abilities, thankfully. But, I always wanted a Drill Kirby. So when I saw that we were getting one in the trailer that revealed it, I freaked out, because this was one of the things I've always wanted. And the idea of just burrowing underground and being able to shoot up with a sharp drill, that's just... it's awesome to me. And even though we didn't get Animal Kirby returning, this is a fine, absolutely great alternative to the idea of burrowing. We got, and it's kind of ironic that in the game that has animals, we didn't get Animal Kirby, but instead we got an ability that's like it. Kind of ironic.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of the drill combo, let us know if you want Andrew to do a tier list on the Kirby 64 ability combinations.
As well as maybe adding the extra abilities that aren't in this, like Jelly, Wrestler, because I'm willing to talk about the extra abilities that aren't in Kirby, that aren't in the mainline games. Which also, by the way, I kind of want Wrestler Kirby to come back in an actual mainline game, and also Jelly Kirby. That would be awesome. Yeah, anyways. Bell Kirby. Insert Taco Bell sound effect here. I think it's honestly one of the best abilities. I honestly just feel like this joke ability is a lot better than the actual joke ability. Then another joke ability, which I'm putting Circus here. I'll talk about that in a moment. Bell is extremely... it has a lot of utility. You could just... it just has a basic attack, but if you keep spamming it, you could launch sound waves that get bigger. It even has a guard like Leaf Kirby, where if you just hold down, the bell on Kirby's head just covers his entire body. That is amazing for this basically silly ability. But for Circus, for an ability that's intentionally supposed to be like circus tricks, like juggling, jumping through fire hoops, somersaults, blowing balloons, it's cool. Well, visually it's awesome, but like, actually using it sometimes is not the best. Like, for bosses, it's not really that amazing. Actually, it's kind of ironic Circus Kirby actually shows up in Triple Deluxe because it had a whole Funhouse level, which honestly kind of freaked me out when I was younger. I don't know what it is. It just kind of freaked me out. As for Beetle, I think it's okay. It's not amazing, and it's actually an ability I have a lot more practice with, because this ability, out of all the Triple Deluxe ones, returned for Star Allies, so I had to play through the entirety of Guest Star with the Beetle ability. It's okay. It has pretty interesting movement, because like you keep dashing forwards with with your horn, and not only would you just damage enemies outright, but also you can even carry the enemies if you want. It's not really useful because you can't dash while doing it, but it's an option. It's more or less like suplex, but funnier in a way. In fact, suplex this render of suplex and this render of Beetle are doing the exact same pose. Just mirrored. And now, my absolute favorite ability in the entirety of the Kirby series. Archer is just amazing. Let me just go down the list of things that Archer can do. Precise attacks, charge attacks, easy mobility, pretty good melee attack, can freaking be immune to boss attacks. That last part, let me just say, that is the main thing that sold me on this ability. And like, I'm pretty sure I cleared the true arena of Triple Deluxe with the Archer ability. And I'm pretty sure this also returns in Planet Robobot, so probably when I do that game, if I ever manage to find one at a store, I'll definitely try to complete that game with the Archer ability, or at least the boss rush. But yeah, Archer is honestly one of my favorites out of all of these. And if I could, I would use it for any other game. Why is it not in Star Allies, dang it? It would have been awesome to use this ability in Star Allies. Like, yeah. And now we're moving on to abilities that are mostly in Star Allies. Or at least got returned for Star Allies, for most of them. Because Yo-Yo Kirby, they made it amazing. Like, all those tricks Yo-Yo can do, I don't even think it could do some of the tricks it can perform now. Like, I don't think it could do the walk the dog trick in a Superstar. Like, all those fancy tricks, that is just... This is an awesome ability through and through. Would I say it's the best? Maybe, but I personally just don't have the attachment to Yo-Yo that I do to others, so my opinion might change, but I would say it's a very good ability. Now, ESP Kirby. Ness isn't amazing, but he's okay. Okay. I had to. But yeah, ESP is a pretty simple ability, just moving around an energy field of psychic energy. And honestly, it's not really my cup of tea to use. Kind of like with Ranger, it's not really easy to utilize. Like, I never really got the hang of using ESP that much. Which is kind of weird, considering that this is an ability that I probably would have that I had to spend a lot of time with, because, again, this is an ability that I had to go through the entirety of Guest Star with, but I just could never find myself to actually like this ability as much as the others. It's still a great ability, but just, for me, I don't really get the appeal behind it. I'm going to skip over Staff for a moment and talk about Spider Kirby, and how mid of an ability this is. Because its main gimmick is that it's setting traps. Okay? If it's for bosses, maybe it could be interesting, but for main levels, it'd be mostly used for puzzles. I mean, I'm glad that Como, the spider enemy that's appeared in almost every Kirby game, finally got a copy ability of its own. But I just really don't like this ability as much as I want to. It's like with ESP, but this one just doesn't have as much appeal as I wish it could for me. And now, Artist and Staff. These two abilities are awesome as well. Artist literally has so much versatility. Like, you can make a sculpture, you can paint characters, you can paint enemies. You could do Artist's insta-kill if you want to. And it makes sense why this ability got expanded upon with Adeline and Ribbon for a Dream Friend, which the Dream Friends don't count for this, aside from one, which I'll get to in a moment, but yeah, and Staff, which honestly, this is technically one of those Kirby. These are one of those original Kirby right back at ya abilities that more or less got reborn as an actual copy ability. Yo-Yo was Top Kirby, Water Kirby was Water Kirby, Iron Kirby was more or less Metal, and Baton Kirby was Staff Kirby. Or Staff Kirby was Baton Kirby, and Staff Kirby is amazing, in my opinion. And it mostly because of that silly pogo staff move. I don't know what it is, but that move is just hilarious. And I just love using the stupid moves in copy abilities. And I mean, yeah. And cleaning. It's a pretty great ability. If it wasn't in Star Allies, it would probably be in mid or letdown. But in Star Allies, it is absolutely a great ability. In fact, it has massive references to the animal friends from Kirby's Dream Land 3. It has Nago for the dash attack. It has a charge attack that using pitch. It has a flying move that using Choo Choo. It's awesome to see these abilities being utilized, like these references being utilized in the game, and not to mention it having a lot more things it can do. Having a freaking vacuum cleaner, which is just another version of the friend throw, but whatever. But like the vacuum could have been used for something awesome, and I just think it does have some wasted potential, but the fan service, it did it well. Now we're on the abilities that appeared in Planet Robobot, and this is where I'm going to struggle a little, because like I said, haven't played that game. Don't really know the big deal behind some of these. Like Mirror, I already know is one of the best, because like reflecting things and being like having all those like mirror attacks where Kirby duplicates himself, those are just really cool. But I've never used it myself, so until I actually do, I don't know how I should feel about Mirror. Like, I'm keeping it in best, because I know it is really good, but Poison, meanwhile, is just okay, I think. Same with Doctor. kind of ironic that all three of the new abilities they introduced for Planet Robobot just don't really fit what I want to play as. Like, Poison is just a different version of Water Kirby, which, like, sure, but, like, Water Kirby's way better. And Dr. Kirby, I mean, considering my only exposure to this ability was the Dr. Healmore from Super Kirby Clash, I kind of think it's just ironic that I just don't like it because of the free-to-play spin-off.
Honestly, out of everything here, I don't really see anything that I would inherently disagree with.
Well, here's something you might disagree with. I'm not the hugest fan of Sword. I just think it's okay.
Me neither. I think it's okay as well.
Okay, good. No disagreements yet.
Well, yeah, I mean, Sword is the de facto copy ability. Sure, it's a legacy one, but come on.
It's just too basic.
Yeah.
Now, not like Claire Fluffle, and I despise this ability with all my heart. I like this ability. It's interesting, but at least it's got its charm. And if we were ranking these on their other variants, like their super abilities and Planet Robobot armor modes, this would probably be a little higher, but not by a lot. I'm not the hugest fan of Sword. But now we're moving on to what I was talking about with counting a Dream Friend, because Bandana Waddle Dee is literally the only utilizer of Spear in Star Allies and Forgotten Land, which, like, that'll this actually goes above these two. Well, actually, even above Smash Kirby, I would say. It's so fun to use, and I mean, don't you just love having a makeshift helicopter?
Yeah.
It's even called the Waddlecopter in Star Allies, which, like, yes, please. It is such a goofy, silly ability. I love it. And it's awesome. Now we get Parasol Kirby. What the flip? Oops. Parasol Kirby. Goes in great. Not the best ability, but not the worst. I mean, that floating down animation is just extremely charming. Oh, hey Limes. Anyways, Parasol Kirby. Pretty cool. Although, really, it's not the best, but I love it. It's cute. But I will put it at the bottom of great just because it's not one that can be, like, utilized a lot. Actually, wait, no. I'm putting it back up at the top because you can still damage just with the parasol just by jumping into a floating enemy. What am I doing? It's one of the best. Oh, now we got another one of the best. Hammer Kirby time. For being one of the legacy copy abilities, it certainly serves as the boss rush killer. Not as much as Archer, but definitely is not to be messed with. And I think they might have actually weakened it, not only because of the upgrades, but also because of the fact that in Forgotten Land, this is a copy ability that you can just get normally, like all the others, instead of having to hunt down a bonkers in one of the levels. Which I like. It makes it way easier to get this ability. And really, the fact that this ability is basically the hallmark for King Dedede, I just like that. I mean, Sword could have been better if it was specifically Meta Knight, which Dream Friends are on the table for being something I can rank next. But anyways, Fire Kirby time. I just think it's great. Not amazing, and I don't really want to be like, oh, Burning's better because of the I like Burning better because its utilization is better. No, I just like Burning because because it's a silly ability I used to use. Thinking about it objectively, it would probably be right next to Fire. And Fire literally has the Fireball move, but I don't know. I just think this ability just is better than, say, others, but yeah, it's... Doing this on the spot is not really the best, because I can't really think of all my thoughts, but maybe if this was scripted, maybe, but it's not. The perk of live streaming, you have to think of things on the spot. Beam Kirby. I think it's pretty good as well. It has a lot of... It's basically another electric ability that I think is better. In fact, actually, I might move Spark... No, I'm not going to move Spark down. It's a boss killer. Beam, on the other hand, it's not a boss killer, but it's definitely one that can kill a boss in Return to Dreamland specifically with a specific move while you're in the air. I'm talking about killing Wispy with the beam circle move, where Kirby just levitates in the air while circling himself in the beam. Like, sure. Bomb Kirby time now, and I just think it's okay. I like the idea of just tossing bombs, but for me, it's just not something I would use all the time. It's one of those things that just doesn't appeal to me. Setting traps, but rolling the bombs is pretty fun. Not gonna lie.
Now we move on to my second favorite ability, Fighter.
Wonder why? It's not like you're literally kind of like Fighter Kirby, you Mr. Fisticle, sir. anyways,
you're lucky that it isn't my number one favorite. That's coming up soon.
Yeah, but for me, Fighter's just not my cup of tea. Mostly because of all the inputs. Like, I get it, it's a Street Fighter reference. It has to have all those certain inputs, but it's the same reason I don't play as Ryu, Ken, basically any of those fighting game characters in Smash. I just can't really get those button inputs down to do those pretty powerful attacks.
Skill issue.
I know it is. Maybe if I trained more, but I'm not really good with that. I like being able to just press a button, be able to do one attack, press another button, be able to do another attack, instead of actually having to figure out what the button combos are and actually executing them. But it's a me thing. Now Cutter. I think it's pretty good. Not amazing, but I mean, it's iconic for a lot of things, especially that cute duck hat. And the boomerang idea is basically the... let me try that again. The boomerang concept is pretty cool. You just toss something and it comes right back at you. Right back at you. Anyways, yeah. I mean, it makes sense why it's also in Kirby's moveset. Like, Stone is the... Stone, Cutter, Hammer, and Fighter are all in Kirby's Smash moveset, which... cool, but... I think Cutter basically... well, yeah, it's not amazing, but for me, I like it. Ice Kirby. This guy is going on the same level as Fire Kirby, because they basically feel like the exact same. Just swap the flames for the frost. I mean, I don't really have much to say about Ice Kirby. Like the ice breath, the skating, the fact that you can eat an enemy and just sit there like an idiot. Doing it with chili is very weird, by the way. Like, for a character without a mouth, it's extremely bizarre. But yeah. And now here comes an ability I've not had the best relationship with. Needle Kirby. when I first played Forgotten Land, because I forgot about how it felt to use this ability. Well, actually, in Return to Dreamland, I think this was one of the best abilities. Like, pretty great. Then I used it in Forgotten Land. I kind of liked the Katamari thing, but it really went down to mid for me. It seemed very useless to use, especially against bosses, until I decided I struggled at the Phantom Forgo DDD battle. Needle was one of the options. I gave it a chance, and now it's back at great. Not as great as it used to be. I think other abilities were better than it. But I still think I came around to how it works in Forgotten Land. Although it would have been a lot better if it stayed the same in Return to Dreamland. Which, by the way, Forgotten Land's abilities are cool, but the fact they went back to like the bare minimum of what's required for the abilities, let's start from like sword and hammer, that just really made me not like the Forgotten Land renditions of the abilities. But there is one ability that we're coming up on that I loved. Anyways, Leaf Kirby. Yeah, it's okay. Don't really have much to say. Leaf Kirby is just one of those abilities that I just like, exists, but you don't bother going out of your way to get it for a boss fight. Or like, in fact, I don't even think it's necessary for that many puzzles in the game. Yeah, I don't really have much to say about Leaf Kirby, but now we get on to Water Kirby, and I mean, it's no surprise it's going in one of the best. It's an iconic ability because, like, water manipulation's cool. It can even make a rainbow, for Pete's sake. And, like, the surfing, the idea of, like, it's just cool. The fact that we lost this ability after Return to Dreamland, it coming back for Star Allies, I just love it. Although, it is kind of annoying that this ability more or less is still in Forgotten Land, but as a mouthful mode, which, by the way, those mouthful modes are extremely bizarre.
Yeah, I don't really pay attention to them.
Yeah. Anyways, now we move on to my favorite from Forgotten Land, Tornado. Went from the unpredictable mess that it used to be in other games to being one that I love controlling and one that is really good to getting some speed in. Like, this is one of those abilities you want to get if you're in a speed run, just to get speedy. Just get through a level easily. And, I mean, Tornado is just awesome. Now Whip Kirby. Honestly, I'm not the hugest fan of Whip Kirby, but I am putting it in great, just at the very, very bottom. Because when I was younger, I did the most cringy thing ever. I did a whip nay joke when I first got the whip ability. I am not kidding. Judge me all you like, but that's just how I thought of the ability as. So that's why if it wasn't, it would just be at the top of okay, but unfortunately, just because of that joke, it's at the bottom of great. Still not an amazing ability. I mean, like, it's just basic moving the whip, and you can grab items through walls. Cool and all, but like, I think it could have been way better. And again, this is an ability I had to use for guest star, so I had to experience using it for an entire playthrough. And well, it's cool, especially with like the whip attack, where like you wave the whip around like crazy. I just feel like there are better abilities than whip.
All right.
We're almost done here. Now we got Wing Kirby. An ability that honestly isn't amazing, but I like it just because like the dive bomb attack is very fun to do. And just like flying around with the wing ability is just really fun. I don't really have much to say about Wing Kirby. And actually, I might as well just go over Mecha and Sand already, because these are other abilities that... Oh my gosh, why do I keep doing that? These are abilities that I personally just haven't touched yet. So, Willie, do you have anything about Mecha and Sand that you want to say?
Oh, really? Other than Mecha looks pretty badass.
Indeed it does. So, and I'll just put them in at the bottom of best, because I know that these abilities are kind of busted. Makes sense why they were added to Return to Dreamland Deluxe, because they needed more busted abilities, I guess.
Oh, man. Now you have saved my best for last.
Ninja, this is one of the best, indeed.
Hell yeah, baby!
It's not my absolute favorite. My favorite is Archer, but it's still awesome. The amount of attacks you can use with it are pretty cool. And like tossing the kunai like constantly is just really fun. Just the ultimate mashing.
Yeah, you got range.
Close up with a dash attack and an actual sword swing. You can cling
and
onto
an
walls.
airdrop.
You can cling onto
Cling
walls.
into walls, yes.
And you have the bloom attack, which I'm pretty sure Return to Dreamland introduced, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't remember if it was Return to Dreamland or Triple Deluxe, because I know it. Because I couldn't remember if it even was in Return to Dreamland. But anyways, let me just close
it. It wasn't Return to Dreamland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is my final Kirby copyability tier list. It's mostly objective, aside from the ones that I personally haven't used.
Hey, I'm just glad that Ninja is up in best.
Yeah. Anyways, sorry for the short stream, guys. I just wanted to stream, and I didn't really want to do Mariamon this time around, but maybe next stream will be Mariamon. We'll see. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this smaller stream, and yeah, see you guys later.
Bye!